Hello, everyone. Welcome to another live night. I am freezing cold. I don't know if you can see outside, but it snowed today, and I'm just like, what? No, I'm done with the snow. So welcome. If you are just catching the replay and you didn't see me live and you're like, dang it, you can always go to my website on my events page and you can see the list of dates of when I'm going to be live. So I have on there kind of like my public lives as well as my member only lives and when we do our psychic development practice nights as well. So those are all listed out on the website so you can always catch me. Tonight we're going to actually be keeping it pretty short, but just know that we are also on Patreon. So if you want to see me more live, definitely check out Patreon. It's basically like a subscription, a membership place where I basically have made tiers so you can choose at what tier you want to kind of opt in at. And it's like a monthly donation to me, to my channel, to keep my free videos like coming, but you also get bonus content over there. So we have like monthly Q&A videos where you can ask me questions. We also have early access to all my YouTube videos. So Patreon members always get to see those first. And then we have our member only live nights, which is like this, but it's member only. So everybody pretty much gets a reading, which is kind of nice. And then we also have access to the psychic development practice night. And then at the highest tier, you also get a monthly pick a card reading. And in those readings, I'm usually giving you the energy for the upcoming month. So I just did April, talked about the overall energy, what's going on, pulled some runes, used my astro dice. So that's something that you get every month over on Patreon is just more content from me. And I mentioned that because I know I've really been like MIA and I haven't been uploading my weekly videos like I want to. Like I've definitely took it down to the every other week, but I want to get back to every week. But I have been going crazy on my new psychic development masterclass course. I like you guys every day I am editing or doing readings, or making like my next YouTube video. And it's just been this way for the past like month or two. And I'm so ready for it to be done and up so I can come back to like actually creating more content here. So while you wait though, just know that Patreon, you do get more access to me over there. And when you sign in, you automatically get access to everything over the past the past year, because I've been there for a year now. So you get to look back on all this exclusive content that you can have from the past year, which is kind of cool. So hello, Adrian, welcome. And I know we also have a donation from Amanda. Amanda shot it over before the live stream even started. I was like, awesome, thank you. And let's see, just some upcoming dates. If you are not subscribed to my newsletter, focus. My newsletter usually sends out all the big dates, but a week from tonight, we're doing our psychic development practice night. I know we've had new people sign up on Patreon, and we had a really good turnout the last 2 times. There we go. And so I'm really excited for next week. I think we're going to have a lot of people in there wanting to practice, wanting to read each other. Basically, it's a video chat. And what I do is I give us all like a psychic game to practice, and then I split us out into breakout rooms. We practice reading each other, we come back, we talk about it, and we do that like 2 or 3 times. So it's a really fun hour. And yeah, that will be on the 11th, a week from tonight. Our member live is going to be on the 25th. And then our next like public live, if you're not interested in Patreon, will be May 2nd. So yeah, if you're new here, welcome, subscribe. I'm going to set our member timer for tonight. And this is just for my folks that are YouTube members. Like, thank you, Dane Mom Dragon, for becoming a YouTube member. Just know that that is just like a $1 tier. That's to help kind of like stand out in the comments, and it gets you a possible free reading on my live nights. But my like full membership is through Patreon, and you can always find that on my links. Where is the stopwatch? No, timer. That's what I want. 10. Let's do a little bit longer. We'll start there. I don't think I saw your comment, Amanda, but I will double check it. But we will start with you, Amanda, after we get through our group reading. So, hello, Janine. Hello, Jenna. Hello, Robert. Hello, Adrian. Hello, all my Patreon members. Lots of these folks are Patreon members. My dog is barking and chasing animals. Let's see. Okay, so we have Amber and Amanda starting out. Let me jump in first with our kind of theme of the night. I do have a group reading. We are going to be doing kind of like pick a card style, where we've got 3 different piles going on. And we're just going to talk about, hang on, y'all. You're going to stay focused tonight. Hang on. I got to text my husband to let in my dog because he's whining because it's too cold out. It's been so warm the last couple of days, and then today it decided to snow, and I am freezing right now. My heater did not heat up this shed fast enough. I'm so cold. Stop it. Okay. Pulling back up my timer. So the theme of the night, I did not plan this, but almost all of our live nights happen like right before the full moon. So we have a full moon on Friday, right before Easter. So if you are doing some Easter shindigs with your family members, might be a good one to like look out for, be a little bit more prepared energetically, because this full moon is a full moon in Libra. So you could have some like headbutting, maybe not always, with like other people, especially because Libra is an air sign. Air signs are all about like communication, and when we think about moons, they're usually about like heightened energy, conflict, sometimes just more stressed out situations. So just keep that in mind as you go into this full moon. It might be a little bit touchy is like how I would put it. And so what I'm going to have you do next is kind of connect to your guides, ask them which pile is meant for you. I have pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. This is just more information on this upcoming full moon and kind of the energy of like the next like 2 weeks, is what I'm like reading into. Hello, folks. If you are new, I'm starting out with kind of a group reading. We're doing it pick a card style. Even though you can't see, I have 3 piles in front of me. And then once I do the piles, then we jump into individual readings. So we already have 2 donations, so I'll start there. But if we go through all the donations, we end up doing like guessing game readings. All right, Amber, I will come back to your comment. Hello, Renee. Oh, I'm so cold. I might have to put on my jacket. Okay. Pile number 1. What is this full moon looking like for you? We have solitude. Definitely a time for you, pile number 1, to be alone. Especially because things might be a little bit more emotional. You might be a little bit more stressed out. I pulled happy in reverse. I feel like you might be disconnected from feeling kind of this happy energy. So you might need to withdraw a little bit over the weekend. The full moon is on Friday. And I think you're going to find the most happiness by just kind of like doing your own thing on Friday, maybe into this weekend. And then we have the Ace of Swords for pile number 1. When I think of Ace of Swords, what was I hearing? It's almost like this little, like a renewal of like your thoughts, your mind. How do I explain that? Especially with like the sign being in, or the moon being in Libra for Friday. I just feel like pile number 1, there's this energy of getting alone, collecting your thoughts, getting things sorted out, and then all of a sudden you have this kind of new burst of energy, new way of going about things. You're really kind of like examining what is like, you're like, what's the word? You're like taking stock, reevaluating. That's the word I'm looking for. You're doing a lot of like reevaluating with this full moon, of like your emotional state, of your happiness, and you're kind of pulling back from the world, asking yourself, what do I want? What do I want to have changed in my life so that I can connect more with, what makes me happy, what lights me up, what brings me joy? And I feel like the minute you can really sit down and take some time to like really think this through, you're going to have all these new ideas come through of like, oh, okay, you know what? I need to let go of this project, or I need to walk away from this job, or maybe it's something smaller of like, you know what? I need to commit to putting aside like an hour every night for myself so that I can feel that happiness. Definitely more introspective, very much up here, trying to figure things out. That makes sense with this full moon coming up. Pile number 2. Ooh, we got talisman. Let's see what the advice here is. Ooh, clean it up. Ooh, okay. Ooh, I don't like pile number 2. Oh, damn it. And this was my pile too. I asked beforehand which one was for me. So talisman, y'all, is like, and with clean it up, I'm literally getting that your energy needs to be clean this full moon. If you don't, you're going to notice, kind of like I said at the beginning, of like you attracting a lot of like negativity. It might be that, you know, you go out to family functions if you're doing that this weekend, or you're just doing whatever, and you're just noticing that a lot of other people are affecting you negatively. I just heard social media. I don't know if maybe some of you need to do a social media detox, but I'm hearing that like you're literally carrying this energy in your field, kind of like you would like an object, like a talisman. That's kind of what that is. And with this also, it's kind of saying if you need to, you can grab a talisman to kind of like clear out your energy. So if you're really resonating with crystals, if you really like want to wear a protective necklace or bracelet or something, like go ahead and do any of that. Like I really feel like pile number 2, we need to clean up our energy. Maybe it's your like literal field, like your bubble, your personal bubble. Maybe it's your home. But you've just been let a lot in recently, and it's just getting a little dirty, and it needs to be cleaned up energetically. So pile number 2, if you need to, I do have a video on energetic boundaries. It's in my protection and boundaries playlist. I think it's also in my Start Here playlist. I talk about how you can clean up your own field. But yeah, we need to do a cleanse this full moon. Cleanse your stones, cleanse your home. Do whatever you need to do over this full moon to kind of clean it up. And then we have the 7 of Cups. Okay, I'm giving up. Sorry, I need my jacket. I'm so cold, I can't concentrate. 7 of Cups. This is why I never read with this deck, is because the imagery is so far off from the original, and that's how I think I know which one is this. Hang on, I gotta Google it really quick. Because I'm getting it mixed up with, I don't think it's the one with, I think it is. Yes, it is. Okay. See, it doesn't look anything like the original. But 7 of Cups, you've got so much on your plate, pile number 2. That's why this is going on. So you're probably just unknowingly just letting a bunch of stuff in. You have a bunch of people around you, a bunch of situations going on. You're trying to get a lot done. Because of that, you're just kind of like, your boundaries are not super strong right now. And it's time to kind of like clean it up, pull it back in, reset those boundaries, because you're just letting like too much in. So let me know if that resonates with you, pile number 2. We're doing pick a card piles kind of for our group reading, kind of talking about the full moon and the energy that is coming up. So I read pile 1 and pile 2, pile 3. This full moon is gonna feel a little rocky, and I'm like immediately just getting this like impatience, like you want things to like move forward, but you're not getting the results that you want. You're really like stressed out about like where you're at and the fact that you're not like further along, because this card is about moving forward blindly, but like blindly trusting. I don't know if you can like see her face, but she's like blindfolded and she's just kind of trusting the process, even though she doesn't know what's around the corner. So this full moon, you might be feeling a little bit, I think there's 2 ways you can do this. You can either be feeling optimistic and you're like, all right, what's the universe going to throw my way? Or I think if we're not handling it well, we're just like So it feels like manic manifesting, where we want a certain outcome to happen so bad, and we're just like so stressed out about it and really not. It's like the energy of like you're so focused on the future that you're not even paying attention to the present because you're trying to like control the outcome. Like let go of the outcome, pile number 3. This I was hoping that this full moon would not be so intense, but it kind of like with all 3 piles feels that way. Pile number 3, you also got the tribe in reverse. So pay attention to the people that are in your circle this weekend, because I feel like that could really like affect your optimism or lack of optimism. I feel like there's a lot of people maybe bringing you down, maybe making you feel like you have to like control all these situations. Really understand that like the people that you surround yourself with, like they affect your mood and they affect your attitude and kind of how you go about things. And it might be a good time also, pile number 3, to examine who in your circle is no longer like serving you, if that makes sense. And then we have the 6 of Swords. What is this one? See, you give me like any other deck and I know what it is, but this deck was my very first deck. So it always throws me off. Oh, okay, I guess that makes sense. You're really walking away from something, pile number 3. And it's going to be a struggle with this full moon because you're really forced to like say goodbye to it, put it behind you. And there's definitely some resistance here. There's some resistance of wanting to force it, make it happen how you want it to happen. Maybe you're clinging on to some people that are no longer serving you. So as long as pile number 3, you're going with the flow, you're really thinking about your intentions, and do the people around you reflect those intentions, and being willing to move forward and let things go and not try to control the future so much, I think it'll be a lot smoother of a transition. You'll have to tell me how this energy goes. This feels like a lot, I'll just say. All right, so that was our group reading to start out with. And I forgot to say, I'm using all of my very first decks tonight. This was my first tarot deck. We're going to use this. And these were my first oracle decks. These are both by Colette Baron Reed. So I just felt a little old school tonight, and I wanted to bring it back to some of my... I used these decks for a lot longer than I used any other decks because they were just like my go-to for the longest time. So, all right, everyone. I am going to jump into our individual readings. I had 2 donations, and I'm going to be 100% real with y'all. I'm probably only going to do like 5 or 6 readings tonight. I'm exhausted. I know it probably doesn't look like it, but I did not get any sleep last night. My son had a really rough night. I'm on my period, so that's fun. And what else happened today? It's cold. I don't know. My energy is not here, and I don't want to read for too terribly long. Alrighty, so let's see. Amanda was first. So Amanda, I'm just going to pull up your... Let me know, Amanda, if you put the question in here. ¿Dónde está? I don't see a question in here. So maybe, Amanda, as soon as you... Oh, okay. Never mind. Amanda has her question. And then we'll jump to Amber. And Amber wants a reading about Dave. And then we will move on. Yes, I will do. I'm just like, today's one of those days where you're just like, I just want to go back to bed. You know what I mean? But I also wanted to jump on here for just a little bit while I had the energy. Because I miss y'all. I know I only get on here once a month, and I was like, I can't skip it. All right. Thank you for bearing with me. Okay. Why do I keep checking this? No, your question is here. I want you to tune into what happens to me in my sleep. I have an idea what's happening. Ooh, but I hope you'll pick it up too. Which one should we use? We'll use this one. Oh, and I also grabbed my Astro Dice. For anyone that donates, I'm also going to roll Astro Dice tonight. What's the name of this red deck? This is Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. Awesome. Well, I don't have a member who's commented close to my timer. That was my member timer. We'll see what member comments next. They might get her reading. Okay, but I am still going to read Amanda. Like, Amanda, the first thing that immediately came through was, like, you going somewhere else. I don't know if that is your thoughts, but let's see what these cards say. These cards are beautiful, by the way. I think I bought them when I first started because they're just so light and fluffy and all rainbows and sunshine and no bad cards. And I really needed that when I was first starting out and did not know how to handle my boundaries. I heard the alarm but forgot what it meant. Yes, it is for my YouTube members that basically on my live nights that are public, if my timer goes off and you comment closest to it, you get a free reading from me tonight. So Amanda, I pulled Between Worlds. So that to me also kind of confirms, I laughed because that's like exactly what I think of when like maybe your body is here, but your soul, your mind is going somewhere else. And spoiler alert, I've already recorded it. It's in the queue of videos coming up, but I do have a video finally on astral travel, remote viewing, and all that goodness. You guys have been requesting it for so long. I had to like research it and figure out what it was. And it was pretty easy, but I figured it out and I made a video about it. So just throwing that out there, Amanda, because I feel like maybe that's a little bit of what's happening. So maybe check out that video when it comes out. And then I pulled the Poise card in reverse. What is that all about? I think like what I'm getting from this, Amanda, is like it's not working for some reason. Like I don't know if you're going in with the intention of like talking to a guide or something like that. But you're just like not in the right place at the right time, and maybe you're trying to like control it a little bit more and it's just like not working out. Yeah, because it's interesting with this imagery because I have Poised in reverse, which to me is saying like wrong place, wrong time. The 9 of Wands is like the 9 really stuck out to me as being like almost there but not quite, and it's almost like this guy like missed his ride, and that's kind of like what I'm getting with you. Let me also pull my dice, roll my dice for this. What's going on here? Okay, so I got the 10th house, which is the house of Sagittarius, which is all about like literal traveling. And then I got Leo and Venus, which to me, like I'm hearing like with Venus, it's all about like pleasure and having fun. So I think you're trying to enjoy yourself. Maybe you're trying to like do something with your dreams and it's just like not happening. Maybe sometimes it is. But I think your ego might be getting in the way a little too much. So you might have to like flow a little bit more into that like receptive mind, that intuitive mind to like fully get what you're trying to like achieve, which I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like you're trying to do like the equivalent of like traveling, going somewhere, using your dreams as a tool to like communicate or like move your spirit to somewhere else, if that makes sense. I'm just going to ask for one more card for Amanda. Like any advice? Oh, wait, you donated more than that. Hang on. Maybe we'll put 2 more cards. Ask for some advice. Yeah. Okay. So, and I got wide open in reverse. And to me, that's saying you could open up more. You could open up more to let this come through more. Like there's definitely something blocking you here as you're trying to like have this happen in your dream. And I guess it could be, you can decide if you want this to happen or not. Um, you feel like it's more of an energy coming to you. I'm doing light language with my hands in my sleep. Interesting. I'm just asking like how that fits into the reading. I'm hearing that it's like it's kind of one and the same, either you traveling somewhere else or someone coming to you. There's like this movement of your spirit or maybe other spirit, but there's a little bit of a blockage here. It doesn't feel like anything bad. It just feels like a psychic block. And I think it's because you're not completely open. Maybe you're afraid of what's going to happen. Maybe you're doubting that it can happen. Maybe you're, scared of what this energy is. But I kind of feel like this is not a negative thing. It feels like encouragement to open up a little bit more. Maybe use your dreams as a way to go visit that energy or have that energy visit you. You still think the cards work? So I would say too, I have a whole series on dreaming where I actually talk about how to go into a dream with a prompt, and like I'm just kind of getting like you can take it to the next level, and there's like a little bit of a block here. Maybe it's a mental block of like, again, maybe you're afraid of what's going on or you're not sure if it's possible, but there's a little bit more room for you to open up even more to the energy that's coming through. Obviously set the intention before you go to bed that you're only going to communicate with beings of your highest and best good, Yeah, and let me pull one card on this energy. Honestly, I'm hearing that it's multiple, Amanda. What a vague but awesome answer. I pulled the Imagine card, which to me is like, you can't even imagine what this energy is, right? It's almost like outside of like your understanding. Or whenever this card comes up, I always think of like just opening up to the possibilities, like even with this wide open card, of it being like something even bigger than you are like putting a label on it for. Like to me, this is saying stay wide open, just be open to whatever it is, keep trying to connect, and maybe it will surprise you. This to me though says maybe it's none of the things or more of the things. Like it could be more, but it's not like you haven't fully explored it yet, if that makes sense. There's definitely more there. Open your mind up to it being more, to it being bigger, if that makes sense. Thank you, Amanda, for the donation. That's so fun. I feel like a lot of times people's dreams are like freaking them out, and it's so nice to have it be the opposite, where it's like an invitation, which is what I feel this is. And something like beautiful, you know what I mean? And I don't know if you guys follow me on TikTok, but I uploaded a video of a dream that I had the other night that was just, it blew my mind. And I just shared it there. I like to share like little stuff, tips and things like that over there. Let's see. Amber Renee, nobody else that's a member commented after my timer, except for you. And I do let members, or I shouldn't say that. If you've donated, I also let you win at least one reading. So Amber, if you want to ask an additional question, that can be both your member reading on top of your donation. So I'm going to jump to Amber next. Oh, and I also forgot to announce y'all really quick before I get to Amber, because I'm all over the place tonight. My course is coming out this month. I mentioned me like talking about it, getting all into it. I've been editing it. It is so close to done. It's so close to done. If you are a Patreon member, if you are a current Udemy student, pay attention to your announcements. You are going to get first access to it. So you're going to get it first before everyone else does, and you're also going to get it at a much lower price. And if you're like, I want that lower price, jump on over to Patreon so that you can get that first access and that discount. And then after I let some of the folks from Patreon and Udemy jump in on that discounted price, it will go up to its normal price and it will be available to the public. I don't know, it's either going to be like the very end of the month or the very beginning of next month, but it is coming out very soon. And I'm going to take like a big, I don't want to call it like a break, but I'm just like not going to edit for as much as I am. It's going to just be nice. It's going to feel like a break. And I'm really going to enjoy this summer and not try to create anything other than my YouTube videos. So very excited about it. That course is called my Psychic Development Masterclass course. You're going to see more stuff coming out about it when it's getting closer. But I just wanted to let you know I finally am within the range that I can say, hey, it's this month. But I will keep you updated on dates as soon as I know. So let's see. What'd I miss? You got the free reading. Hello, silly rabbit. All right, so Amber, let's do your donation really quick. You'd like a reading about Dave, who passed away September of 2022. That was very recent. Okay. Because these are short and sweet, I'm just going to kind of ask him to communicate through these cards, or even if my guides want to give me any information about him right now. What's the main thing Amber needs to know? Let's see. So I have a leg up and the fates. So I'm getting two different things with this, Amber. So the leg up, is this him? Yes and no. Does he need help? No. Okay. I think this is for you, Amber, or maybe, I don't know if he left kids behind or someone close to him, but this is like a sign that he is helping other people right now kind of go through the healing process. I was wondering if it was like him, if he needed help, but I'm not getting that message. He does feel really distant and he doesn't feel like he's like here. I feel like he's very busy doing spirit things that he's got to do, but he is helping other people heal, because like he's giving me the impression that it's still like it's very soon for a lot of people, because I don't know if it was sudden, but when I got the fates reversed, that to me says like the timing of it was surprising, or it could just be that it was like a surprise. I think that's what it was, because in our minds it was like not the right place, the right time. It was like surprising. Because if this was upright, I would be like, oh, well, we all knew it was coming. Like it was the right place and the right time. Anyways, but I kind of also love this card, the Fates, because it talks about, and this card is beautiful. I'm not a huge fan of Colette's newest decks, but I really like her old decks. Like this is focus. Focus. The Fates. Oh yeah, there it is. Isn't that pretty? But what I also love about this card is it does say that it did happen for a reason. Even if it was a surprise to him at the time, even if it was a surprise to everyone else, like there is a higher purpose in it. So let me pull just some additional cards around each of these. Yeah, because he's telling me, I'm hearing that like people are still struggling. People are not past this. I got Peaks of Joy in reverse. So this message, this leg up, he is also telling me that, see, he's coming through when it's about other people, but not about himself. And that's because a lot of people are struggling still around his thing. And with the leg up, it's he's wanting to offer help. He's wanting to give help to lots of people I don't think it's you necessarily, Amber, like, I feel like you're kinda, like I don't tell me if I'm wrong, but, like, you're kind of like a bystander to this? Not a bystander, like, not as if you weren't affected, but it just feels like you're not the closest to him. Or I don't not that you're not like, what am I trying to say? It's like you're not the most affected, and he's trying to offer help. Okay, sorry, this is, like there's too many things at once. He's trying to offer help to these people, but they're not wanting to take the help. They're not wanting to heal in a lot of ways, and that's okay. That's everyone's grieving process is different, but I think he's trying to let you know, Amber, that there's some resistance and maybe there's something you could do. You could take somebody out, you could do XYZ to kind of like help them see that it's okay to ask for help. Even if it's not from him in spirit, it's okay to ask for help from other people, or a therapist or whatever it is. But there's definitely this message of like people are like not wanting to heal. They're definitely wanting to deny things, not in a bad way necessarily. It's not fun. They're depressed. It's not a good time. They're grieving. And he wants to help and he is grumpy that he can't. And so he wants you to at least know that, hey, somebody else needs help. One more message for Amber. Okay. And I don't know if he's been doing this while I've been talking, but he's giving me the impression that he's giving you ideas of how you can help them. Specifically, clairaudiently is what I'm hearing. Like you might have heard or you might have had thoughts now or before or moving into the next couple of days about ways that you can help. And it's interesting too because I pulled this card for a group reading earlier. And I kind of feel like it has maybe some similarity. Maybe go back and watch that pile again. But this to me is saying he's giving you ideas on how to help them. Like you're not alone. For some reason, it's easier for him to like communicate with you. Let me jump down and see if Amber has said anything else. You're not over it. And I don't think a lot of people are. Yes, it was a surprise. Okay, we'll follow this up with a general reading. Let's do this. Yeah. Because I asked for like the general energy of the situation. I have Libra, probably can't see this very well, which is all about like balance and trying to find harmony. Yeah, that makes sense with this full moon. It might be a good full moon to do some releasing, to do some work around this if you can. And then I pulled North Node as well. This to me is about healing. This is about moving forward in the direction of like helping yourself, helping others. And then the third house is, why can't I remember at the moment? Aries. Hang on. See, this is why I'm not going to read for very long tonight. My brain is just like zapped. My like analytical brain, I can't rely on it. Third house. Where are you? Your mind. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, there's just a lot of balancing the inner thoughts around this, moving forward into a place of healing, moving away from self-sabotage, moving away from the negative thoughts that don't help. This to me starts to get into a territory of like needing help from outside people to really work through this, because he's telling me that he's trying to help, other people are trying to help. Like I'm getting very clear signs of like depression, not wanting to be helped. That's where I would recommend maybe standing in, talking to like a therapist to really work through these thoughts, because especially with this Ace of Swords in reverse, this to me is saying that there's a lot of mental resistance, a lot of like wanting to keep ourselves there in that headspace and punish ourselves is what I'm hearing. And so maybe that's you, Amber. Maybe that's like I do feel like it's several people surrounding him. So yeah, as much as you probably need to help yourself first, also pay attention to some folks around him as well. They might need to hear that message as well, if that makes sense. Geminis. Thank you, Robert. Gemini. Wait, is it really Gemini? Oh, I guess it is. I should know this. That's my son. Because April is Aries, and then we have what's the next season that's coming up? Second. My brain, it's gone. The psychic brain works when I'm tired, but not the analytical brain. Okay, cool. So that was Amber's donation reading, but she also got the member reading for tonight. So I'm gonna just do a general reading for her. He was a Gemini. How did you know? Oh, he was saying, I was trying to remember what sign was associated with the third house, which is the astro dice that I pulled for you. Third house is Gemini. So it's definitely about communication. It's definitely also about people putting on one face, but maybe pretending to act a certain way in front of other people, and then at home or behind closed doors being very different. That's kind of what I'm getting with Gemini. Okay, per usual, eating a snack. All right. Okay, general for Amber. General reading. And we'll keep moving along. Okay. One more. Love this. I feel like this is related, Amber, because we're already in your energy talking about it, but this is a little bit more about you personally. You're having a really hard time being present. This card is here and now, and it's got one sign pointed towards the past, one sign pointed towards the future, and this person is right here in the center in the present. And it says you are here on top of this vibe, and there's also an egg, which is funny. Funny because Easter's coming up, and eggs are all about fertility, growth, moving forward. But to me, Amber, this is kind of saying a lot of the stuff that's been going on is keeping you in the past. It's also keeping you in the future a lot because you're stressed out about what does life look like now? That happens when we're grieving. It's just I'm so obsessed with all the things that weren't said, were said, everything that should have happened, didn't happen. And now I'm also focused so much on the future and not knowing what that's going to look like, trying to control it, maybe not control it. You're just not focusing on here and now and what you need here and now. I'm hearing for you, Amber, the book, The Mountain Is You. Maybe look it up, see if it resonates. Just because I'm hearing a lot of self-sabotage. And I'm also hearing that there's something about you learning about self-sabotage that will help others that are doing it to themselves. But the advice here that I got was spirit of place and metamorphosis. I do feel like spirit of place is literally the home you're in, the environment you're in, even your workspace. It's where you spend your time. And I pulled this reverse. To me, that's saying it's not conducive right now. Maybe your home life, your work life, it's not conducive for getting you grounded, getting you present, getting you into a state of taking care of yourself. Maybe it's that your house is cluttered and, doing a spring cleaning might help you zhuzh up the energy, clear your mind, clear your thoughts, clear your house. It could be that you might need to take a break from work or just ask for some time off. I'm just throwing out examples, but just focus on where you're literally spending your time and ask yourself if there's any way that it can be improved to kind of help you come back to center. and focus on yourself and give yourself the things that you need, because you're going through some huge changes right now, Amber. This metamorphosis card, I never pull it lightly. This is like big scary changes, but it's all changes for the better. Right now I feel like that's hard to see, but it's something that you come out on the other side and it's just so beautiful. Like, you probably can't see very well, but there's a butterfly here coming out of its cocoon. And not to get on like a really long rant, but like caterpillars going into cocoons, they have to like muster up so much strength to do that. Like, they turn into like literal goo when they go into these cocoons. They're very vulnerable. They're changing their whole entire like composition. They're turning from a caterpillar into a butterfly. And that's kind of like the growth that you are in right now. So it's very important that you pull back, focus on yourself, focus on the here and now and taking care of yourself, and making sure that all environments that you surround yourself with are very like conducive for your healing, so that you can move through this change with as much peace as possible. I am hearing too, Amber, to really go back and rewatch that the full moon group reading that I did. I feel like pile number 2 and 3 were both for you to some extent. Awesome. Thank you, Amber, for being a member on YouTube. Thank you, Dane Mom. Okay, so Dane Mom will be our number 3. Let me just double check. I thought I saw my phone flash. Did somebody else donate? Oh no, but the IRS accepted my tax return. Woohoo! Cool beans. Good news. All right. I'm finally warming up a bit. Let's see. Dane Mom, let me know what your question is. Thank you so much for donating. Let me know if you have a question, and I will get you a reading. I think I will do 2 more after Dane Mom, and we'll cut it off at donations only after that point. How does she do that, silly rabbit? Just waiting on Dane Mom's question. Maybe we'll do a guessing game while we wait. Side note too, because I know I'm not on here often, I am planning 2 trips in the future. I am going to be in Salem, Massachusetts in September. If you're in the area, let me know. I already know of 2 people that might come. We might meet up, maybe go like do a tour together, or maybe get drinks together or something. And then I am going to go to Scotland as well, but that's probably not going to be for another 2-3 years, but it's finally like set. It's happening. Scotland and the UK, which I know probably no one watching is, I know I have UK followers, but you all are on the exact opposite time zone as me. So like, I'd be surprised if you're watching. It's like 3 a.m. or something over there right now. You feel it and the walls are thin. Okay. I was like, I wonder if you just had like a random person like pop in on your virtual sessions and you're just like, get out. I was like, I don't think that's possible. If you feel it, yeah, I believe you. And pile number 2, and I've been getting this message a lot for myself of like, I need to like set up protection a little bit more. Some of us might need to put up some protection. We're being a little too open. Maybe we haven't done a good job of setting boundaries lately. I had a dream, not the dream that I mentioned on TikTok, but a pretty scary dream the other night where I woke up and I was like, I need to reset my boundaries. Yep, that's what needs to happen right now. But I like woke up in a cold sweat. Okay. Yes, you can definitely do whatever comes through from spirit if that's what you want, Dane Mom. And your walls are thin. That book, which I think is just amazing, is called The Mountain Is You. There are some books for grieving that I'm pretty sure I have it on my Amazon list. Like I do have in my like link tree, if you scroll down to the bottom, I have like my Amazon storefront, and that's where like I keep like every product that I recommend. If you're ever like trying to remember something, but I have like a whole page of books. And there's also some really good ones for grieving. One of them is called like Walking Each Other Home. There's another really good one on there as well. Oh, I'm so jealous. I mean, it's just like a plan right now and nothing past that. Well, except for Salem. That one is like got my tickets booked, got a Airbnb. We're going. Let's see what they want to yell at me. Okay. Sounds good, Dane Mom. Let's ask for any message for Dane Mom from their guides. Was that for me or for Dane Mom? Both of you. Okay. I heard loudly, get off of social media. I don't know if you're on social media, Dane Mom, but I think we both need to get off. I feel like it's a little bit of like a negativity drain right now. They're very snarky. Like I literally heard them like yell very loudly and very slowly, get off social media. And what they want to talk to you about, Dane Mom, is your intention. I feel like you've just been in your mind, in your feels, just ruminating over everything that's not working, Dane Mom, if that makes sense. And I feel like even if that hasn't been recently, like you do that often. Thank you, Priya. I'll get to you next. What was I gonna say? You said twin flame. I pulled soulmates. and so what they want to talk about is your intentions, because I pulled wishing well. This card is like the intention card of the deck. And this is saying like whatever your wish is, whatever you put in that well, you're going to get it back. So if you put a bad intention out, you're going to get bad intentions back. If you put out good intentions, you're going to get good back. It's just the law of attraction is like what I feel like with this card. And the Astro dice, because I got Cancer, Mercury in Cancer in the 8th house. So this to me is just like overthinking, you're feeling emotional. It's just very like deep stuff that you're going over. And I think you don't think about how often your guides pick up on that intention and how that intention attracts maybe some more negative things in your life. And they're just like here to give you this like reminder of like, hey, remember when you think good thoughts, when you focus on your abundance, when you focus on what you do have and what you're grateful for, it comes to you, because you got the Treasure Island card. And it's funny that you're bracing for like getting like told off or something like that, because they're bringing in like a really like positive message. And again, with like the social media like detox is what I was hearing for you and for me, was that that affects our minds. It affects where we're constantly living in, like what state we're in. And if we're always seeing everything that's going wrong in the world, we're just going to assume, excuse me, that that's what life is like. And so we're going to keep attracting more of that. But they're saying, no, Dane Mom, like you have this whole treasure island. You have this island of abundance. You have abundance around you now. You have it in the future, but you're just not like seeing it all the time. You have to remember, like, where do I put my thoughts, and how do I use that to attract more, if that makes sense. And it's funny because I pulled soulmates in reverse, and I do feel like this is also affecting like your love life right now, to where you're like, oh, well, it's just never going to happen. Maybe you're a little bit pessimistic about it. And they're kind of just reminding you, hey, like, what's your thoughts around it? What are you putting out there? So it's kind of this like nice wiggle of the finger, if that makes sense. Let me double check. How much did you donate? We'll do like one more card. Um, any more advice? Oops. For Dane Mom. Courage. Is this a strength card? I think this is the strength card. 5, 6, 7, 8. It's a weird card for courage. I think the reason why I never like really stuck with these cards is that the visual imagery is so much like the opposite of the actual like tarot card, the original Rider Waite Smith tarot card meaning. Anyways, honestly, like Dane Mom, I feel like they're kind of saying like a lot of times you feel like you can't set the intention that things aren't going to work out. You lean more towards pessimism sometimes because it's easier. And to lean towards optimism, to lean towards things could be possible, abundance could be mine, I can have this treasure island, I could have a soulmate. That takes a lot of courage, to believe in. And I feel like it's a lot easier to believe in the opposite. So they're encouraging you to have courage, to have strength, that you can work through these things, and this could be you. This could be you attracting the reality that you want. You're putting a wish in the well, and bam, it's giving you back whatever you desire. But I feel like right now you kind of like distance yourself from it. You laugh at it like with some humor. You're just like, whatever, like not for me. But I think they're kind of calling you to like examine that, like even examine how, you might use humor to like cover up the intention of like wanting something better. I hope I'm making sense. I'm just double checking because I know I'm like reading your energy a little bit now, but I don't feel like that's how you are like all the time. But I feel like I'm hearing like that you've settled a little bit. You've settled into, well, this is as good as it's going to get, and I'm going to be happy with it. And they're like, no, raise the standards, raise the possibilities. What if it's fated for me? That should be your new affirmation. If anyone else wants to steal that affirmation, start asking yourself, what if it's fated? What if it's fated for me? A soulmate, abundance. What if it's fated for me? Sometimes that's a good in between of like, if you really feel like you can't be like, oh, a soulmate is definitely coming my way. Instead you can say, what if a soulmate is coming my way? It's a really good like way to kind of start tricking your brain, not tricking your brain, but just getting yourself to believe that next step is possible. I know I've always wanted to go to Salem. And for me and where I live, it's kind of cheap to get over there. So it was a pretty easy trip to do for me. All right. Priya is next. Thank you, Priya, for your donation. I think that was for the three of us about the social media message. I had the sleep paralysis nightmare. No, after falling asleep to some type of social media video. Ugh. Yeah. You try staying in the attitude of gratitude. Nice. And if I am wrong about that too, just like know that it's just a good reminder of like, you can like even more is possible. I've been getting that message as well lately of like, I feel like I've hit like a new ceiling and I'm like, all right, how could it possibly get better than this? And I'm like, nope, can't tell myself that. It's going to get even better. When it gets better, it gets better. That's another good affirmation that I got from Chloe Taylor. When it gets better, it gets better. Of course, it's the strength card. Hello, folks. Childhood trauma. I have a really big calling and it scares me. I know what you mean. Sometimes when that energy is there, doing the inner work around it, really working through those blocks that we have. I will say in my psychic development masterclass course that is coming out, I'm spending a lot more time on the sections of like focusing on getting rid of those blocks. I am actually including a shadow work meditation within the course that would like directly like get at that. Anyways, hello everyone. Welcome for those of you who are popping in. So we're going to do Priya and then we're going to do one other reading and then I'm probably going to cap it off there for the night. Unless anyone else has any last minute donations that they're going to send my way. You found me through Chloe? Really? How? Please tell me how, because she's so big and I know she doesn't like, we've never done anything together, obviously. All I do is like stalk her stuff and comment on all of her videos because I love her, but that's funny. Okay. So, sorry, Priya, thank you for waiting. Let me get back to Priya. Priya wants to know, just in general, what do you need to know right now? Let's do it, Priya. They're telling me to do... Oh. YouTube smiled on you, Lauren. Hello, Zanadia. Zanadia, are you like Periscope? I feel like that name... Were you around when I was on Periscope? She was doing a live last year and you were there? Like, not like a... She was doing a live. Like, in her Patreon? Sorry, I'm, like, very confused. Oh, well, yeah. I'm surprised I remember that. That was so long ago. Okay, this is for Priya. Sorry, I will catch back up on the comments, but Priya. What is this? I think this is out of order. I think it's like this. Okay, so, ow! I just threw all of those on my floor. All right, we're not going to use the rest of that deck tonight. Okay. Happily ever after. Priya, so I'm getting that this was in the past. This is where you were at. Like, I feel like there's this moment of disappointment, honestly. Like, normally when this card comes up, happily ever after, it's like a really good celebration. It's like a really good moment. This is technically like the world card in the major arcana. Look happy, right? You know what I mean about this deck? It's like, it's the opposite of like what it should feel like, honestly. And so what I'm feeling, Priya, with this is that you had like a big moment. Maybe it was in the last like couple years where you really got to maybe an achievement that you wanted to accomplish. But now you're kind of on the other side of it. And it wasn't what it was supposed to be. It wasn't like, I'm just getting like you finally got something, but maybe it fell apart. I don't know if this is a relationship. That's what it feels like, is a relationship that just like maybe you really wanted it. It finally worked out, but then it like fell apart, or it didn't go very well. Or maybe if I'm wrong about this, really the point of this is like the ending of a chapter and moving on to the next thing. And that's where your reading kind of takes off from here, is I have the Mentor and the Seven of Pentacles. And right now I feel like you're kind of picking up the pieces. Like the energy is just like, you're not quite where you want to be. And I can feel that. And you've been doing a lot of hard work is what it feels like, Priya. With the Seven of Pentacles, this is like, you've been putting in the work. You're not quite seeing the results yet. I'm kind of feeling like this is just like, honestly, like with your whole like life path, like relationships, jobs, you feel like you've been doing the right thing, but you're just not seeing the results yet. And then with the Mentor card, I'm trying to remember what card this is. Does anyone know what the 5th card is in the major arcana? It's not the Hermit. No, it's gotta be, it's not the Magician, is it? Sorry, I haven't read this deck in so long. Hierophant. There's Robert helping me out. Okay. Um, Hierophant. See, that just doesn't like that doesn't I would not describe the Hierophant as a mentor at all. Well, maybe. Um, in a reverse sense of the way. Anyways, ignore me, Priya. What I'm basically saying is that I do feel I'm reading this deck for what it is. But I'm just also being analytical and thinking about tarot and trying to learn. So the mentor card to me, it does say blah, blah, blah. It's above there's help. There's help that you can ask for. There's people around you that can help you. Look for mentors, even if it's just like online or in books. Like you're struggling, and there's a lot of people that have been through the same things that you have been through, and they have words of wisdom, and it can really help you get through this and really see the success that you actually are having. Because I feel like you're just in resistance to a lot because you want the outcome to work out exactly how you want it to work out, and therefore like it's not working out because you're trying to like control everything. And I just feel like there's like books. I wish there was somebody who really talked about like resistance, and I wish I could remember, but you can even put it out to your guides. Hey, like, show me how it gets better. Show me resources to help me with this. Show me my own abundance. Show me um, the results of my work at this current time. Show me something to make it easier. Show me like how it can be easier. Like, think of just asking your guides for literally what you need, even when you don't know what it is that you need. But I just feel like the message that's coming through is just like so much resistance. Let me just get some advice cards here. Yeah, because you have so much abundance in front of you and you're not seeing it. Because I have the milk and honey card in reverse. The milk and honey card is kind of like the abundance card. All your needs and wants are met, but I feel like you're just so focused on what you don't have that you're not manifesting the things that you want because you're constantly putting it out there. I don't have this. I don't have this. So this co-create card in reverse is the manifestation card. Like when we ask spirit for something, truly I see it as you put out an intention to the universe. This is what I hope for. This is what I want. And you kind of take a step in that direction and they meet you halfway. However, what I feel like is happening is that I feel like the intentions that you're setting are not for your highest and best good. Like you think that's what you want. And don't get me wrong, it probably is. But Spirit is saying we're not meeting you halfway because there's an easier way. There's a lot easier of a way to go about this. And honestly, Priya, like I feel like you probably feel a little bit abandoned by your spiritual team because it feels like they're just not there. But I'm kind of getting the impression of like you've been just doing the opposite of the messages. You've been doing the opposite of like whatever they've been saying. And so they're just like not around as much. It's not that they're not around, but they're just not helping you. I'm trying to make this sound good, but also not like sound hopeless. I feel like your guides have given you a lot of advice and you've kind of just gone the opposite direction. And so now they're just kind of like waiting for you to actually ask them again. And they're waiting for you to loosen up your grip. That's what it is. And I feel like this all has to do with this moment here. This happily ever after of something going wrong. And I feel like what you've been doing is kind of like a trauma response of like trying to control this whole outcome because you don't want this to happen again. But like, honestly, Priya, I'm just going to tell you how it is. It's like, if you keep going on this path, you're going to recreate this again. Does that make sense? Relinquishing control is like the biggest thing I can like sum this up to because there's an easier path forward. And I pulled the observer card. Did I show this? And the observer card is like paying attention to your emotions, paying attention to when you're trying to manifest, when you're trying to control the future. And then I pulled the fates card. This to me is saying you're in the right place at the right time. You are here, you are going through these lessons to learn something important. And it's not wrong where you're at. You keep looking back at like, this bad thing happened, it threw me off, now I'm going all the wrong directions and I'm doing everything wrong, things aren't working out. Again, like where are your intentions? Where are you putting your mindset? Because you have a lot of things going good for you right now. And if you stop to like smell the roses, I think you'd start to switch into more of that gratitude, that abundance mindset, and it would be a lot easier for you to move forward. Honestly, Priya, this to me says like learn about manifestation, learn about how it works. Not that I'm saying like I know how it works, but I just feel like every step of the way you're kind of doing things, I don't want to say wrong, but like you're going against the flow. And if this doesn't resonate, please throw it out. It's coming through pretty strongly this way, but I could still be wrong. And Priya donated a little bit more. That's why I'm spending a little bit more time here. But some of my cards fell on my heater. I'm a little paranoid. Oh, I'm sorry, Priya. Let's see. Hey, anybody in the comments, help me out here. Do you know any good like books or people that talk about manifesting? I feel like I need like I have a lot of go-to books on specific things that I'm like, oh, that covers it all really well. Actually, meh. There's an older book called Lucky Bitch, and it's by Denise Duffield Thomas. It's kind of about money, but if you can like, I really think that book, it was more about talking about how to manifest, versus her other book called Get Rich Lucky Bitch. That one's more about money. I know there's better books on manifesting. I know Manifestation Babe is out there. She has like a really expensive course, but she's got like her social media. I know there's a book out there that's probably really good. But honestly, Priya, to like go back and sum this up, I feel like you have a lot of good things going on for you. But when you can't see it and when you focus on, again, everything that's going wrong, you put that out into the universe. You're saying, this is going wrong, everything's going wrong, this is what I'm expecting. And so you get more of it through the law of attraction. And then I do feel like when you're going in to set intentions, you're also in this mindset of like so focused on the past, not like fully healing from it. You don't believe that you can have these things, and therefore you're trying to control it all and make it all happen. So your intention that you're putting out is kind of like opposite or backwards, or maybe not, the intention that would really be easiest or most helpful for you. And then I feel like you're also not listening to spirit. I'm not trying to make this like a big like you're doing everything wrong, but like I'm seeing it so clearly, like all the steps along the way, you're just doing it the opposite. And I feel like education, just learning about this you'll just see like a really big turnaround. So learning about co-creation in that sense, and learning that, your intention has to be good, that you can't control the outcome, you have to surrender the how. I feel like I'm just giving you such big concepts in such a short amount of time. But know that your hard work will be rewarded. You just have to start with a mindset shift. Can we have like one overall message for Priya? Where can she start? Because this is a lot, Spirit. Okay. Go inwards. Sacred pool. Sacred pool is just coming back to center, focusing on you. You're saying you're having health issues, you're starting a new job, you're anxious. Come back to center. Fill up your own cup first, Priya. This is you sitting in this hot jacuzzi pool, soaking up the energy that you need, communicating with spirit, going inwards, having solitude. That's where you're going to get new ideas. That's where you're going to hear spirit. That's where things are going to get a lot easier. I do think the rest of this, of learning a little bit more about it, will like help you. Oh, yes, that's a good one, Adrian. You're a Badass by Jen. I've also read her book of You're a Badass at Making Money. I don't know. I hope that makes sense, Priya. I know that was kind of a lot, and I don't want it to come across so doom and gloom, but I just feel like maybe you've been getting readings lately and no one has been telling you the right answers, and you're kind of like exhausted and you want things to change, and your guys kind of came through with just like, all right, here it is, you know. I'm just looking back at these messages. That's true. We don't listen. They fall back for a while. Yeah. And it's like, again, it's not that our guys are just like, see ya, I'm leaving. You know, they're still there. They wait until we actually want to hear them again, if that makes sense. I love how you all are like throwing out this message too. Okay. Energy Essentials for Witches, Spellcasters by Mia Ohm. Ooh, I haven't even heard of those. Thank you, Tamari. Yes, thank you, Priya. Thank you for the donation. Ooh, and that's a good point too. Of Silly Rabbit. Like, I do think there's a lot of like therapy things that can really, really help you as well. Like therapy, like exercises that can like help you work through a lot of those like stresses. And if it's getting super overwhelming, you know, I do think that can help. Knowing that absolutely is like a privilege. But hello, Michael. All right. Okay. One more after Priya. Let's see. I don't think we had any other donations. Let's do a guessing game for the last reading. And then we will close it off and it'll be like donations only. Honestly, I probably just need to wrap up. But last one. I am thinking of a color. If you can think of the color that I'm thinking of, then you can have the last reading. Bam. Renee, you got it. Purple. Purple. So Renee, I do not know how to say your last name. Lamero? Let me know what your question is. After Renee, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. But if you absolutely want a reading and you're like, I can't leave without one, feel free to send a donation in and we will wrap it up with you guys, if that makes sense. I'm just double checking. I don't think I read Renee, correct? Even if you did donate, you still get one for your reading. Oh, Dane Mom, you were so close. I know sometimes like the order looks different on your guys' end. I just go off of it on my end. But yeah, if you're going to hop off after Renee, I will see you around. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. You can also sign up for my newsletter on my website. I also have a podcast. I released a new podcast episode a couple of days ago, actually. Just giving a little bit of like a life update as well as like a Saturn return final update. And yeah, you can always reach out to me for private readings and know that you can join us over on Patreon. Again, our psychic development practice night is going to be a week from tonight. We have a good group of people in there. More people have signed up. And I'm really excited to have more people to read. What's the theme next week? What is our theme? Oh, are we doing dreams next week? We're doing dreams next week. So if you really want to learn about dreams and decode some dreams and practice on other people, psychic development practice night next Tuesday. And yeah, our next date of when we are going to be live here is going to be May 2nd. And my course coming out extremely soon. If you are a Udemy member or Patreon member, pay attention to notifications. You are going to get first access. I was first on our side. I know some people have I know that that's the case, so I don't always say it, but I remembered to say it this time. The lies. All right. Just a general reading. What do my guides want me to know? Okay. This will be Renee. We'll do the last reading here. I think they want me to use this deck. Did you jump on her live, Silly Rabbit? I always see her live exactly 50 minutes after it's over. And I'm always like, thanks. It's weird though. It's been 3 or 4 times that it's been exactly 50 minutes since she live streamed. It never sends me a notification, which is annoying because you're like, I want to support other readers, and it's if their channels are too small, it just doesn't send me a notification. It's annoying. Anyways, okay. Renee, I just saw just a beautiful rainbow. I feel like that's a message in itself. Okay, Renee, they want to talk about your attitude. Just kidding. Never ending story though. This to me instantly is all about victim mentality. Where do we keep ourselves in victimhood? And don't get me wrong, victimhood serves a place, it serves a time. I think it's an important part of the healing process. I don't think anyone should ever be shamed and be you shouldn't feel the victim. It's a perfectly valid part of the process. Never ending story though. What's going on here? So that there's something here that they want to talk about. Somewhere that you're keeping yourself in that victim mentality kind of longer than you need to be is what it feels like. I don't know what it is because this is just all emotion. Okay. Whatever this was though, in the past, it was something that was really stressful. It was this big mountain in front of you that you blew it up into something that it was really, really big. And it might have actually been something that was pretty easy. Maybe the solution was easier than you thought it would have been. But looking back, you kind of look at it and you're like, man, I blew this up into something that it really didn't need to be. It was kind of escalated. And now kind of where you're at with this situation, again, this is emotional. I got sad embrace in reverse. There's definitely some resistance to feeling the feels around whatever happened. And I know that that's kind of the similar energy of this never ending story. We got 2 fairies that are crying. But this one, I feel there needs to be some self-forgiveness. Is this this is sort of true, sort of not, but they're saying it's an example. For example, you're sabotaging yourself because you did something wrong, right? But really what needs to happen is you need to forgive yourself and say, you know what, I did the best that I could. And you really need to feel through the feelings of, gosh, I failed. And that's really what I'm hiding from. It's not that I'm just this big awful person. That's a really easy way for me to avoid this feeling. I don't know if this is a good example, but they're 2 different emotions going on here, right? And you're using this one to cover up this one, if that makes sense. And what really needs to happen is just this sad embrace of where you really should be flowing into this situation of the places that you haven't gone, it's the places that you're stuck in. It's why you've been keeping yourself here. It's the reason you're not allowing yourself to move on, forgive yourself. It feels very much not forgiving yourself, or maybe forgiving the other person or the situation. You've just been very stuck in looking at it just one way. That's what it really feels like. And so that's why you're just going in circles, and it feels like you're telling yourself this never-ending story because it's just You're just going over it the same way, the same way, the same way, and there's never anything new. Fun thing that my therapist taught me, I love this tactic. She taught me to poke holes in your argument. So, like, when you're going over these things and your emotional self is saying, "Oh, well, this happened, that happened, what a blah blah blah," poke holes in that argument with some logic, and say, "Well, what else? What could have happened if you did it this way? Does that actually make sense?" Like, try to poke holes in the argument as if you were like another person looking in. That's kind of like the energy that this feels like, honestly, Renee, is that your guides are like, you haven't felt through all the feelings because you're reliving the story in a very specific way, and it's to keep yourself from going there. But I feel like going deeper into it would really help right now. And then I think what you'll realize in the future is that you're going to come out of this like storm, and I don't even feel like you can fully see this, but this is like a self-inflicted storm. And like, what I love about the imagery in this card, there's like a house back here and there's a big tornado. And right now you might be in the middle of it emotionally. And when you're in the middle of the storm, like, you can't see out. You can't see any other way. You can't see what could be better. You can't see the sunshine. You can't see what's coming ahead because you're just so focused on being in the middle of it, if that makes sense. And I feel like when you kind of work through these emotions, all of a sudden the storm moves away, you step out. It's like they just gave me Dorothy stepping into Oz visual, and it's almost like you can breathe again because you got out of this like never-ending story that you keep telling yourself. And on the other side, it really truly feels like you look back and you're like, whoa, I did not realize how much that was actually affecting me until I really like put it behind me, by feeling through it, if that makes sense. And obviously, only do this if you feel comfortable. Again, I think there are some things, some traumas that really could use the help of other people, like therapy or talking to someone if it's too uncomfortable for you to go through. But I really do feel like, again, when you come out on the other side of this, Renee, it's just gonna feel like Dorothy stepping into another world. You're like, oh my gosh, I've been living in black and white and I didn't even realize it. And it's all because I just kept myself in this story going in circles. I hope that makes sense. Dreams. We have fun over there. Good. All right. Thank you all for jumping in and hanging out with me tonight. I need to do better I was like, I'm going to do 6 readings tonight, and that'll be like under an hour, right? Nope. Now I know, though. Thank you all so much for being here and sharing this energy with me. I think I'm going to go ahead and sign off right now and just get some sleep because I'm tired. But I'll see you all next week in our psychic development practice night. You can always join over on Patreon if you want to do that. Cookies. I guess, yeah, that was in our member live last week. I got delivered cookies while I was reading. It was the best. Alrighty, you guys, thank you so much. I hope you all have a fantastic week and a full moon, and I will see those of you who are members next week. Alrighty, bye.